Well, hello there, and welcome to the Neuse Sports Show. My name is Brian Hanks. His name is Junius Smith III, and we are very blessed, very thankful that we have one of the good guys in the business that are joining us this week. Leica Abibi is joining us this week on the Neuse Sports Show. And Junius, a week off last week. What the heck were you doing last week at this time?
You know what? I was voluntarily eating sushi for the first time in my life.
Wait a minute. How did that go?
It wasn't as bad as I thought. We got probably 6 different rolls and everything, and I enjoyed 2 of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like that with my first experience with sushi. So, yeah.
Are you a big sushi guy, Leica?
Yeah, well, I mean, occasionally I have some, but it's pretty good.
Well, very good. Well, let me tell you, this show, again, we had last week off because of Hurricane Dorian, but we're back. We're back. Yep. We got a lot of games that were postponed that were supposed to be played last week. We had one that was moved up, a couple that were moved back to this past Monday, 3 more that have been moved to different dates. So we'll be getting into all that. We're also going to introduce you to Leica Abibi, one of the good guys in our neck of the woods. He's going to give you a little background about himself. He's going to tell you about what he thinks about prep football here in the Lenoir County, Greene County, Jones County area. And then we'll be previewing all 8 games. That's right, Junius Smith and Leica Abibi. We have 8 games this Friday night, and Neuse will be covering all 5 of the in-county games, won't we?
That's it. Thankfully everything just worked out that way.
Well, very good. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a look back. Well, before we do that, we cannot do that, or cannot have a show unless we have great sponsors. So we really want to thank our awesome sponsors that we have. We're going to start with Lenoir Community College. LCC's Quick Jobs program provides training so you can get to work in less than 6 months, Junius.
And because LCC partners with area employers, you can find not only a job, but a new lifelong career.
Absolutely. Jobs currently in demand include heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, electrical wiring, energy distribution systems, manufacturing, truck driver training, and welding.
Tuition assistance may be available, as well as nationally recognized credentials.
It's a new year and a new you. Let LCC empower you to get the job and career you've always hoped for.
And to learn about Quick Jobs, call 252-527-6223, extension 714, or enroll at lenoircc.edu/quickjobs.
Absolutely. We also want to thank KC Crop Insurance. They've been a sponsor all season long. Thank you to KC Crop Insurance. They're here to serve all your crop insurance needs. With more than 50 years of combined experience, they take pride in excellent customer service.
So go ahead and give the KC Crop Insurance Service Team a call at 252-522-9613. That's 252-522-9613. And tell them that Neuse sent you.
Absolutely. Also, our big boss man, BJ Murphy, if you watched any of the election coverage last night, you heard us talking about it a little bit. But the SM3 Summit is coming up on us. It's on October 5th, so we are less than a month away from that. You definitely want to be a part of that. If you're an entrepreneur, a social media manager, or a marketing professional, you need to be at the SM3 Social Media Summit in Kinston on October 5th.
There will be speakers from across the state who will talk to you about how to go viral with your videos, how to sell, how to market your brand, create a social media calendar, and so much more.
Absolutely. So go to sm3summit.com. Again, that's sm3summit.com. And last but not leastly, you are watching this. This is the Neuse Sports Show, so you need to be subscribing every morning to the Neuse newsletter. Boy, that's fun to say.
That's a mouthful.
The Neuse newsletter. Myself, Junius Smith III, usually has about 8 stories a day on there. Leica has about 3 or 4 stories a day on there, so be sure to subscribe to that, and it's very easy. Tell them how to do that.
All you have to do is go to neusenews.com. There's a nice little subscribe button right there. Just put in your email, and it's right there. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. You get that nice little update, and you'll have the stories that are all local right here in town, a little bit of Greene County, a little bit of Jones County, a little bit of Ayden, and it'll be right there for you.
So be sure to do that. So thank you to all our sponsors again. Please visit them. Tell them that the boys up at the Neuse Sports Show sent you there. So let's talk about some of these games, and I believe I think we have a graphic, Dr. Town, showing the games that were moved, and there they are.
Nice.
I love it. Kinston played Wilson Fike. Mm-hmm. They were tied at halftime, 14-14. However, a key injury happened. Wilson Fike ended up winning that 35-21.
Right, Dimitri Holmes went down with an injury. From what you said, he is back, and he'll be ready to play against Jacksonville Friday. kind of getting ahead of ourselves. But Kinston, they struggled as far as turnovers. They had 5 in that game, including 4 interceptions.
Absolutely. Is there Leica? That was Kinston's first regular season loss since 2017.
Yeah,
That's a pretty strong
yeah.
statement about Kinston, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. They've been excellent for the last year and a half, and they've had a great program for a long time. And it kind of caught me by surprise when I found out about that result. But knowing about Dimitri Holmes' injury, that's a pretty significant blow for how good they are. So they need him out there, obviously, and he's been excellent when he plays. So they really need a healthy Dimitri Holmes.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it says it all. It was tied 14-14 when he goes out. They lose 35-21. He's integral, and people think it's just because he's a quarterback. He's not just a quarterback, is he, Junius?
Right. He's also a very, very good defensive back.
He is, and counted on both sides of the ball for sure. 2 of the games that were scheduled for Friday were moved to 2 days ago on Monday. The first one was a Rendell Parrott Academy played Cary Christian. Parrott squeaked out a 14-13 win, a win they absolutely had to have, wasn't it?
And the thing about it is, talking to Matt Beeman after the loss to Beargrass, he said, now we're getting away from 11-man football. This is our first 8-man game. Cary Christian, they're coming in with a lot of momentum at 2-0. And to be able to score 14 points in an 8-man game and still win is absolutely phenomenal.
And in the grand scheme of things, when you look and you see that Parrott lost, as Junior said, to 2 11-man teams, it gives them some experience, but in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't mean anything, does it, like?
I wouldn't say it impacts like what's going to happen down the road for them, because they want to be able to compete for their respective division state title in 8-man football. This is, as you said, is a really big win for them. They needed it, and they went on the road to get it. So it was very impressive from the Patriots.
Absolutely. And then the other game that was moved to Monday from this past Friday was Bethel Christian Academy, and look out. Where's our Bethel helmet at?
It's over there.
There
actually.
you go. It should be up here because Bethel Christian Academy is now 2-0 after a 72-0 win against Wilson Community Christian. I know Keith Spence covered that for us, Junius, but tell us a little bit about that game.
Bethel Christian was up 48-0 at the end of 1. That's pretty much all you need to know. They had the running clock going in the second quarter, and Bethel Christian is absolutely phenomenal, starting the year with 2 huge shutouts.
And how good is this Bethel team, Leica?
I think they can compete for a state championship.
Wow.
They did lose one player from last year, Cody Dunk, who did so well for the Trojans last year, but they returned just about everyone from that roster last year.
They returned everybody.
Yeah, everybody actually, yes. Led by Connor Williams, the quarterback, and a few other really good skill pieces on the outside. And I think they think they're in for a really good season, and they have a big one this Friday against Northeast/Hopgood Academy, so it should be fun for them.
All these schools with the hyphens in their names now.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 schools combined.
It is.
Yeah, so yeah.
Well, there were 3 other games that were scheduled for this past Friday night, and they've all been moved to later on in the calendar.
Right.
We've got East Carteret at it's East Carteret at North Lenore. That was moved to Tuesday, September the 17th. Green Central at North Pitt moved to Wednesday, October the 2nd. And then finally, North Duplin at Jones Senior moved to Tuesday, September 24th. And if I'm doing math here, that means South Lenore had a bye week. Who else? I'm missing somebody.
Grifton had a bye week.
There you go. South Lenore and Aiden Grifton had their bye weeks this past week. So that's why you don't see them in this updated schedule here. So before we jump into previewing this week's games, let's meet our special guest, Leica BB. And Leica, you are a person that really came came into Lenore County on the scene here. I hadn't heard about you, didn't know anything about you. You started working for a newspaper or a couple of newspapers around here. I was very impressed with your writing and all that.
Thank you.
For people who haven't met you, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, obviously, I got to explain the name. My parents are originally from Ethiopia. In the eastern part of Africa, and they moved over here. And I was born in Washington, D.C., where they lived. I moved to North Carolina when I was 3 years old, and I lived in Greensboro from then until my college years at East Carolina. And I just recently graduated last summer from there. I love covering sports out here. This is actually where I started covering high school sports, and it's been a really fun experience. And now I'm helping you guys out and trying to see some more of the great schools around here, and it's been really fun. So I really appreciate it.
You've had 1 year in this market, primarily a little bit over a year now since you've been working here.
Yes, sir.
Well, what's a couple of things that? Don't call me sir. Oh my God! He said that, and the first thing I went, whoa. But what has really stood out to you? I mean, and it could be anything, any sport, anything. What stood out to you in your time so far here in Lenoir County, Greene County, Jones County?
I can't really single out one thing because it's just sports around here is just excellent, from all the way from football to softball to everything. I mean, a lot of programs that are excellent around here. Of course, Kinston basketball has been a standard for a long time, and everyone loves how good they are, and they've been excellent, of course. But the other teams in this area are actually building programs, not just basketball, just in every sport across the board. And it's been excellent seeing the growth of Lenoir County sports.
I've had the opportunity to kind of see you on the sideline over the past year and some change, just at some of the games that I was covering for Neuse News. What kind of attracted you to this organization?
It's just just how well you guys are well known in the community, how much you guys really care about what you do, and it's not just the two of you; it's the guys behind the scenes right over here as well. I've been I actually observed you guys' work, and I've been impressed myself, and I was like, I feel like Neuse could get my name out there a little bit more. So I think that with you guys helping me out, I feel like I can improve as a writer, as a person that can get into the community a little bit more, and it's been really fun so far.
I've been impressed with some of the stuff you've done with Kai Jones. And you guys have WJG. Tell everybody a little bit about that and give them a little information about that.
Well, I can't take all the credit for that. WJG Sports was founded by Kai. Okay. People still think I'm Kai Jones.
This is where we should know. This is where we should have got Dr. Town to have pictures of you and Kai and put them side by side. You can understand now. It's not just because we're all dumb and blind. I mean, you guys do.
We actually do, yes, and that's how we came up with the name of our new podcast. It's called the Just Like Brothers podcast.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun getting to see some of the Wayne Johnson and Greene County schools school because Greene Central is the only school, but it's been really fun, and it's been helping me branch out a little bit more to Eastern North Carolina, and this place is hopping with great high school sports. So I'm really thankful that Kai was able to get me on and try to help him.
Go ahead.
I do know one thing that we will be looking forward to in December. Again, I know this is a football show, but you got to be excited about that John Wall Holiday Invitational coming up.
My goodness. That field is ridiculous. When Brian told me about the field a few weeks ago and who could potentially be there and now who is going to be there, it's amazing. And that is the best high school basketball tournament in America, bar none. I think that this field is going to be ridiculous, and with all the local talent from around the state, and of course Kinston's going to be in it, so it's going to be really fun to see how they do. And I just can't wait for December, man.
It doesn't matter because Kinston's going to win. I hope Webb's not watching this. If he is, I'm going to be in trouble for saying that. But yeah, Kinston's coming to play. I got a chance to see them on Sunday, and they're really fired up about it. Talked to 4 of their main players and the coach, and they're very excited to be a part of it. Farmville Central's in it for the first time ever. Yes, of course,
defending state champs in 2A, yep.
Yeah, tell them a little bit about Farmville Central in the tournament this year.
Yeah, Farmville Central, of course, this is their first time being in it. 5-time state champions. They're returning a lot of pieces from a 32-0 season. And then, you know what? Dayron Sharp who played in South Central last year.
Now at Montverde,
Yeah, Montverde. Montverde is going to be part of this tournament. So people who thought they were just going to see Dayron when he went to Carolina because he has committed there, they can come to the tournament and see him play.
Yep, come out to Broughton. It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be December 26th through the 30th at Broughton High School. And BJ, I think Webb Wellman needs to be paying us some ad time for all that we're talking about a Holiday Invitational, okay? But for sure, we're really looking forward to that. Okay, well, let's segue back into high school football, which we have going on. We've got 8 big games. We've got plenty of time to talk about them, too. I don't feel rushed this week.
Let's do it.
First, we'll just go through the schedule first. We've got Jacksonville. All the games at 7 o'clock.
Right.
They are. Okay, very good. Jacksonville is at Kinston. North Lenoir is at Southern Wayne. South Lenoir is at Princeton. Raleigh St. David's at Parrott. Northeast Hobgood's at Bethel. Eastern Wayne is at Greene Central. Ayden Grifton is at Farmville Central. And Union is at Jones Senior. So we're going to quick hit these games first, and we'll start with Jacksonville at Kinston. Jacksonville is 2-0. Kinston is 2-1 going into Friday night's game. This season, Jacksonville has defeated Southwest Onslow and East Duplin by a combined 54-14 margin. As you guys know, those are not two lightweights there between Southwest Onslow and East Duplin. The Cardinals lost a 3A state title game a year ago to Charlotte Catholic. Kinston's loss at Wilson Fike on September 4th was its first in the regular season. We talked about that a little bit earlier, since 2017. But they snapped a county record 14-game regular season winning streak when they lost that game. This is going to be the 24th overall meeting between Jacksonville and Kinston, but it's the first since 2008. Kinston is 2-21 all time against the Cardinals. So they need to play 18 more years and try to even that up. The series ran every year from 1970 to 1990. They met in the 1994 playoffs, and then they played again in 2007 and 2008. And then Kinston's only wins, like I said, came in 2008 under Coach Battle Holly. That was a 28-6 win, and I don't know how the heck you remember that when we were in. He knew that score. I don't know how you remember that. But the other win was in 1978 under Coach Sam Green. So, Junius, I'll start with you. Jacksonville at Kinston, your thoughts?
It is going to be a very, very tough game for the Vikings, particularly if Dimitri Holmes isn't 100%. Mm-hmm. So that is something that does worry me a little bit, and I feel like the Cardinals, again, they're power. They've won double digits in the past 3 years. I feel like they're going to take this one. Okay,
well, we'll get to picks a little bit later because I got to brag since I'm still ahead of you in picks. Yeah. And Like is going to make some picks too. Your observations on Jacksonville-Kinston?
Kinston's going to need a really big game from everybody. It's not just going to be Dimitri Holmes. It's going to be Kari Pitts, Will London. Offensive line's going to have to play really – actually, both lines are going to have to play really well, get some pressure on Jacksonville's quarterback. Jacksonville, if you remember, they had a crazy comeback in regionals just to get to that state title game against Havelock. It's going to be a really tough game, but that might be one of the best games this week.
Well, I agree 100% with you. Tell you what, this next game is going to be a heck of a game. Undefeated. How many times can we say that? Undefeated. Yeah. North Lenoir 2-0. They travel to Southern Wayne, who is 1-2. Southern Wayne lost to Wilson Bettingfield and Goldsboro, but defeated James Keenan so far this year. The Hawks have only started 3-0 8 times in their 55-year history. They've only started 4-0 twice. That was in 1973 and 1980. However, it looks good for them this week. North Lenoir is 10-9 all-time versus the Saints in a series that has run from 69 to 74, 1994, 2003, and 4, and then every year since 2009. If you guys remember last year's game, I actually did that game last year when North Lenoir and Southern Wayne played. North Lenoir was up double digits in the fourth quarter, but lost 32-28. And when they did, they snapped a 4-year winning streak against the Saints. So we'll start with you on this one, Micah. North Lenoir and Southern Wayne, your thoughts?
I've heard a little bit about Southern Wayne and how they've played so far. Their loss to Goldsboro, they were up 11 with about 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Goldsboro had a furious comeback with a Hail Mary last 15 seconds of the game. But they're a tough bunch, and they want to win some games this year, and I think they're going to have a really solid season. They're going to be very competitive. But North Lenoir's made me look kind of good. I've been observing them like throughout the summer at Pikeville CBA Cox Jamboree and at Smithville Selma. They were really hungry. They showed up and played well against some really good schools out there. And I think this is a game that both teams can get, really.
They've had a little bit of a layoff since the last game that they played, the Farmville Central game. Mm-hmm. How much do you think that's going to affect them, Junius?
You know what? If anything, it's actually going to help them a little bit because it's funny because, they're the Hawks, but they have not thrown one pass all year.
Now, they threw for a 2-point conversion.
Okay,
but in official stats, it doesn't count. So technically, you're absolutely correct. But how wild is that they're 2-0? I'm glad you brought that up. They're 2-0, have not thrown a pass yet in regular play.
Yeah. And you know what? When you have some great running backs such as Najee Kuntz and Jaden Kilpatrick, you've got the ability to kind of control the clock and also just kind of move the chains, and that's what North Lenoir has been doing in wins over East Columbus and Farmville Central. So by all means, just keep it going.
Very good. Our next game is South Lenoir travels to Princeton. I know our good friend Rudy Coggins is going to be covering that for us on Friday night. South Lenoir is 1-1. Princeton is 2-0. I mean, they've come back a little bit. The Bulldogs have outscored Pamlico and Granville Central 72-40 in their 2 wins so far this year. It's been feast or famine for the Blue Devils so far this year. They shut out Jones Senior the last time they played, but they were shut out themselves 22-0 at North Duplin on opening night. They've only played 4 times in the history of both programs. South Lenore is 4-0 all time against Princeton. That was from 2001 to 2004, and in fact, the best victory in South Lenore program history came against Princeton in 2003 when the Blue Devils won 63-0. And I know completely different from last time they played, but South Lenore Princeton, and this has a little bit more special meaning to Jeremy Joyner too, doesn't it?
Right. I mean, Jeremy Joyner, he was the coach over at Princeton, correct? So. Yeah, I mean, South Lenore defeated Princeton 64-0 in 2003, and in the last meeting, 2004, they won 36-21. Now, Princeton is on an impressive regular season winning streak themselves. I believe this would be they're on a 12-game regular season winning streak because they did go 9-0 last year before falling in the first round. So this is a very tough Princeton team, but South Lenore, they're definitely riding a lot of confidence after that win over Jones Senior.
Now we're getting up into your neck of the woods now, Princeton, that side of Wayne County. So you know a little bit more about that neck of the woods.
I'm a little iffy. I'm not Kai, but
Okay.
I do know a little bit about Princeton. And when I saw that they beat Pamlico County after that season, they did have some changeover at Pamlico, but. When I saw that Princeton won, I was like, "That's a pretty impressive win." And they're going to be really tough out this year. I think they're going to have some. They had some really tough games, but I think they could have a really good season. South Lenore, I feel the same way. The Blue Devils, of course, Coach Joyner's a Wayne County guy, so he knows a little. He already knows a lot about Princeton from the rivalry with them in Rosewood. But I think this game is going to be a really good game. Probably a lot of points, I think.
Another good game for our friend Rudy Coggins to cover for us on Friday night. Okay, next up we've got Raleigh St. David's. They are 1-1 so far this season. They're going to be at Arundel Parrott Academy, who is 1-2. The Warriors lost 20-18 in Chesapeake, Virginia, at Greenbrier Christian Academy on opening night. And from what I understand, and I don't know that much, I'm not going to try to act like I know Greenbrier Christian Academy, but they're a traditional power up in that neck of the woods. But they beat 8-man heavyweight Rocky Mount Faith Christian 36-16 on Monday. The Patriots, which means they're now 1-0 against 8-man teams, which is the most important thing. They've met 21 times since 2003. Parrots won 13 of those games, including a 5-1 record against the Warriors in the state playoffs. But last year, Junior Smith III, Parrott lost 60-22 against St. David's. Got to be a little revenge on their mind from last year.
Definitely. I was at that game. I think Ty Good went absolutely off. I think he had 7 touchdowns in that match. Of course, he was a senior, so he won't be there this year. But for Parrott, besides the revenge on their minds, I mean, when they won their 2 state championships in 2015 and 2016, they lost in the regular season to St. David. They came back and beat them in the playoffs. So,
yeah, that's pretty. I mean, that's going to be a pretty good matchup. I think Parrott does have a little bit of revenge on their mind. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I totally agree with you on Ty Good. He was ridiculous last year for them, and I think Parrott's got they have a new quarterback and some new pieces around Reynolds Banniger. So I feel like this might be a tough game for them, but you never know. I think if they come in focused, and I know they will under Coach Beeman, they come in really focused. I think they could steal it. You never know.
I know there's something very special happening at halftime of the game too, Junius.
Yes, the Parrots girls soccer team, they won their first state championship, and they'll be receiving their rings.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Very good. Let's talk about the hottest team in our area. I guess, partly I would say North Lenore, but I'm not even sure North Lenore is as hot as Bethel Christian Academy. They're going to be hosting Northeast Hobgood, but Northeast Hobgood is 3-0-1 to this point. The Warriors won, or I'm looking at the wrong line. Northeast earned a forfeit victory against Wilson Community Christian in their first game of the year. They tied Wayne Christian / Goldsboro Homeschool, but they beat Pungo and Halifax soundly. Bethel is 2-0 versus Pungo and Wilson Community by a margin of 136-0. 2 undefeated teams matching up on Friday night right here in Kinston. Junius.
Yeah, matter of fact, Likey, you're covering that game.
Yes, I am.
Well, I should have gone with him first. And,
Go ahead.
That's fine. It's fine. I think this could be the best 8-man game around this part of the state this year in the regular season.
Yeah.
Of course, last year Bethel in the state playoffs against Northeast had a 20-0 lead, and unfortunately could not close the deal, and they lost that game. So revenge is on their mind too.
Yeah.
And I think
you know where I'm getting ready to go. Go ahead.
And I think that Bethel can get this game, and with how I'm sure it's in the back of their minds what happened last year since all but one player is back. So I do believe Northeast they're one of the best 8-man squads in this area in Eastern North Carolina. So this is going to be an extremely competitive game with a lot of points.
Tell him where you and I were last year at that playoff game.
Yeah, we went to Lasker, North Carolina.
Oh yeah, you guys were. That's right.
Yeah.
You guys were there. It was rain was going from the side. It was
sideways.
Bad.
We had a
And it was
tropical
cold.
storm. Yeah.
I haven't seen rain like that since Texas. Like,
It was great. He can tell you what was funny. We're standing in the press box, and he was smart. He got back a little bit, but I was keeping stats for him, so I'm leaning up. Tell him if I'm exaggerating. I'm leaning up. I'm completely soaked from here, and there was like a line right here where I was dry. My whole back was dry, but my whole front was wet. But getting off on a tangent there.
Yeah, but that was a ridiculous night in terms of weather. I can't believe they played that game, but yeah.
Yeah. How good's this Bethel team?
this Bethel team is very, very amazing. I mean, like you talked about Connor Williams, the quarterback, but their running game with Josh Sutton and Rodney Warren has been phenomenal this year, along with Zach Boyd. Their defense has been tenacious. And, again, you want to talk about that playoff game, but Northeast beat them 2 other times in the regular season. So to lose 3 times in the season to the same team, they definitely got revenge on their mind.
Absolutely.
I love it. Listen, we've only got a few minutes left. It got away from me a little bit here. So we're going to blaze through these last 3 games. So just quick hits on these. Right. Eastern Wayne is 0-3 there at Green Central, who is 0-2, so someone's going to get a win Friday night. The Warriors won last year's matchup 35-32. That snapped a 3-year Green Central winning streak. The Rams are 9-8 all-time against Eastern Wayne. Eastern Wayne has lost this year so far to Hunt, Goldsboro, New Hanover by a combined 105-30. GC has lost close games, South Central and CB Aycock. The last time GC started a season 0-3 was in Alan Wooten's first season in 2013. We'll start with you, just real quick hit.
This is one of those games that Green Central, they're going to be foaming at the mouth for this one.
I definitely agree with that. It's a game both teams can get, but this is kind of the get-right game for Green Central if they need it.
I like that, the get-right game. That's cool. That's very cool. Aiden Grifton is 2-0, and they've been blazing through people, too. Farmville Central is 0-3. I've seen Farmville Central twice this year. I've seen them more than I've seen anybody else so far this year. AG is off to the hot start. They've outscored Pamlico and Chocowinity Southside 68-8. Farmville Central has lost to Kinston, North Lenore, and North Edgecombe by a combined 127-34 margin. We'll start with you, Leica. Quick hit on Aiden Grifton, Farmville Central.
The Chargers are going to be ready for this one. I think there's a lot of points here for them, and they're going to be ferocious on both sides of the ball. They got a lot of athletes.
And this is one of those traditional rivalries, too. I mean, they do not like each other, do they?
Without question. I made a mistake of wearing a Farmville Central shirt in Aiden Grifton territory. And
oh, no.
Oh, Junius.
I wasn't thinking.
It's okay. It's okay.
I got cussed out by my parents, but no, Aiden Grifton is running on all cylinders.
Absolutely.
Very good. In our last game, and this one shouldn't take that long for us to talk about, our good friends over in Trenton, Jones Senior, they host Union, or are they going to? I know it's still on the schedule. Have they got the field ready? Are they going to be able to?
From what I know, they should be playing this game.
Very good. Listen, Jones Senior's been outscored 125-0 by South Lenore and Lejeune. They're just in bad shape, aren't they?
It's tough when you only have about 14 to 15 players on the team. So hopefully, they're able to continue staying optimistic about this season.
I know I'm supposed to be unbiased, but if there's a team I'm rooting for, I'm definitely rooting for them to get a win for sure.
Have you ever watched me and Junior? we pull. In fact, I almost wore a Jones Senior hat today just to give them
I'm definitely rooting
life.
for Tyler and them. Absolutely.
Very good. Okay, let's go through picks real quick. You and I both 2 weeks ago when we did this, we went 4-2. That means for the season, I am 10-4, and Mr. Expert over here is 8-6. Okay?
I'm not an expert when it comes to picks. Like,
I'm not.
the first 3 weeks
I'm not
of the
either.
season.
I guarantee you that I'm not that good. So
okay, so here we go. We're all 3 of us are going to pick. I'll go first. Jacksonville at Kinston. I know you've got me covering that game. I've got Jacksonville winning the game. Who do you think?
I'm going with Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals.
Okay, North Lenore at Southern Wayne. I've got North Lenore improving to 3-0 for only the 3rd or whatever it is, 8th time I think in school history. Who do you have?
I got the Hawks, and I'll be at that game.
Okay, very good. South Lenore is at Princeton.
I got the Hawks, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
I got that.
It's okay.
South Lenore at Princeton, and I'm sorry, Jeremy. I'm picking Princeton to win that. Who do you have?
I apologize, Jeremy. We got love for you, but I'm going with the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
Oh, we're 3 for 3 with the same teams. Okay, now here's where I think we're going to start differentiating. St. David's is at Parrott Academy. I've got St. David's.
You're not the only one. I'm
Really?
going with
I'll take St. David's.
Oh, no. All three of us taking it. Okay. Well, I thought we might differentiate there.
But you know what? It is wing fling night out there, so.
Yeah.
Yummy. I can't wait. Northeast Hobgood is at Bethel. I'm taking Bethel.
I got to go with Bethel for the revenge tour.
Yeah, close game,
revenge
Bethel.
tour.
Bethel.
I like that. Eastern Wayne is at Green Central. I think this is kind of a toss-up game. I think it's going to be closer than people think. Who do you have? I've got Green Central. Who do you have?
I got the Rams. They get off the snide.
Rams.
So you're telling me we're six? We picked the
I
same
don't know what's
six
going
games?
on.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I know what it is. You don't want to fall any further behind me. I can appreciate that.
That's
I
not
can
it.
appreciate
That's not
that.
it. Matter of fact, next week, let me go first with the predictions.
I love it. Aiden Grifton is at Farmville Central. I've got Aiden Grifton.
Come on, that's Chargers.
Go Chargers, go.
There you go. And then the last game is Union at Jones Senior. And again, sorry to our good friends in Trenton, but I've got Union winning that one.
Yeah.
Very good. So we had 8 games, guys. We all picked the exact same games.
It's weird. It just happens sometimes.
It
Yeah,
does.
there were some those were some toss-up games, and I think both teams could win. So yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, one more time, let's thank our sponsors that make this show possible.
Oh,
We
yeah.
really want to thank Lenore Community College. They've got a quick jobs program. It provides training so you can get to work in less than 6 months, Junius.
And because LCC partners with area employers, you can find not only a job, but a new lifelong career.
Jobs currently in demand include heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, electrical wiring, energy distribution systems, manufacturing, truck driver training, and welding.
Tuition assistance may be available as well as nationally recognized credentials.
It's a new year and a new you. Let LCC empower you to get the job and career you've always hoped for.
And to learn about quick jobs, call 252-527-6223, extension 714, or enroll at lenorecc.edu/quickjobs.
Let's test Leica's reading abilities here. You start the KC Crops.
KC Crop Insurance is here to serve all your crop insurance needs. With over 50 years of combined experience, we take pride in excellent customer service.
So give the KC Crop Insurance Service Team a call at 252-522-9613. That's 252-522-9613, and tell them the Neuse sent you.
Absolutely. Also, our big boss man, BJ Murphy, as we told you earlier, has a big SM3 summit. It's about social media. That is coming up on October the 5th. If you're an entrepreneur, a social media manager, or a marketing professional, you absolutely need to be at this SM3 Social Media Summit in Kinston on October 5th.
Without question, there are going to be speakers from across the state who talk about how to make your videos go viral, how to market your brand, create a social media calendar, and so much more.
So make sure you go to sm3summit.com. That is sm3summit.com. And check it out.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And finally, don't forget Neuse newsletter. Every morning it's in your email, so just go to neusenews.com, go to the top of the page, hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime. The best news source in Lenore County, Greene County, Jones County, neusenews.com, and it doesn't cost you a dime. You're not going to have a wet, soggy paper laying in your yard.
Oh, my goodness.
You're going to have the best news. That is, you're going to have all the news that is happening here in Lenore County. Listen, I want to thank the people behind the scenes. Dr. Travis Town, he's the executive producer of this. Parker Mitchell is the associate producer. He's waving at us. Let's all wave at him. Hey, Parker. Very good. Of course, BJ Murphy, Aletha Thrower, Brandon Potter. Be sure to use hashtag Neuse Scores on all 8 games Friday night because we will be keeping you up to date. You don't have to. Well, now, we want you to follow all of us.
Yeah.
But if you just want to know the scores Friday night, if you just hit hashtag Neuse Scores, you'll be able to find those out. Last thoughts, Leica.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. It's going to be a fun week again, and can't wait to continue going down the road this season, guys.
Very good. Junius.
Hey, look, it's been a phenomenal show. I'm glad to be back here, and, we got some games in North and Order cover today.
Yeah, we got to go. We got to go now.
You guys
Like,
are sitting
we
there
gotta
looking
go.
at your watches going, Brian, wrap it up. Listen, thank you so much, Leica Abibi. Thank you so much, Junius Smith III. We'll see you back next Wednesday at 4:30. Now, we did have a schedule change. We moved from 4 to 4:30. So every Wednesday at 4:30 right here on your Facebook feed, we'll be back with the Neuse Sports Show.